I was gonna fix up the hat, make sure my tats are showing. So this week in my vlog, I wanted to talk about something that comes up quite often when you're dealing with web development, and that is proprietary code. Quite often, even when I was on the client side of business, hiring web agencies to work on websites and managing that process more so than actually being hands-on and selling my services, something I ran into all the time was agencies or web developers wanting to use proprietary code, which means that they're coding the whole website from scratch. So edits have to be made in code and that sort of thing. Or they would use some sort of proprietary CMS, maybe a CMS that they developed, or a CMS that almost no one uses. And I just wanted to talk a little bit why that's problematic. So before I continue with that, though, I want to just get this out of the way that yes, WordPress and CMSs like Drupal that are used by millions of websites do come at a cost of having to make sure you update them from a security perspective, and they can be a little bit slower, but in my experience, that it's nanoseconds, and it does not have an impact on your SEO. At least it hasn't for most businesses that I've worked with. So that aside, and we'll talk more about what those two CMSs in a minute, but. The primary reason that I dislike the idea of proprietary code or implementing a CMS that not many companies use is that it's insanely difficult to update them, and you have to go back to your agency and pay them to update anytime you want a change made. So you maybe need a new page created to offer a new service, or it could be something as simple as your phone number needs to be updated, and you have to go back to your agency to pay that. Now, the reason that I'm so against it is I just fundamentally believe that that's a bad relationship. It's not good for business, and it's not good for the client. It's not good for the business paying to have a website developed. Now, I'm not saying don't go back to your agency for changes, because that's sometimes you need that, and there's no magic wand that makes things easy. But using a CMS like WordPress means that you can train and empower your staff to update your website for you. They can, we've seen everything, and I've seen everything from, front-end receptionists that have taken on the responsibility of updating websites from like bios and team pages and updating phone numbers and adding new products to the website and things like that. So you can empower and your own employees to be able to update your website to eliminate that additional cost. Now, that doesn't always work for every business, but it's an option. The whole idea of what a CMS is a content management system. I always recommend WordPress. WordPress comes, there's always technical flaws to every decision. Nothing's perfect, but from what I have found over the years is that because so many people use it, there's just so much knowledge out there. It's something that a lot of people can work on and manage, and you can easily train staff on how to update. But so a CMS is, the fundamentals of what a CMS is that it's a database that resides on the server that stores all of your content, all of your text-based content. So everything you see on the website is pulled from this database, and then there's a parallel set of files that control the programming. So the styling, the CSS files, scripts, the PHP, things of that nature. And what those do is they pull from the database. And when you're in the back end updating your website, all you literally have to do is fill out forms. Type a title, type the body text, things like that. It just makes it really easy. So I think that one of the biggest questions you need to ask an agency or someone who's going to develop your website is, what are you going to use to develop the website? Is it going to be on something that I'll be able to edit after, or do I have to come back to you for changes all the time? There's a lot of tools out there that will tell you how many other websites are built on a framework. So you can look up how many people are using. I'm typing with my hand. How many people are using Google? On Google, you can say how many people are using WordPress, and there's websites that collect those stats. If the CMS or the framework they're proposing is used by 100 websites across the world, it's probably something that's not well documented and not something that's easy to update. So definitely probably the biggest question you should ask anybody, from a freelancer, a contractor, an internal developer, is what are you going to use to develop our website? And most importantly, how easy is it to update? Always be